Okay. Welcome to day 5, guys. And we've already started off with a brand new module from yesterday. We started off with the reading module. And before I start with today's session, we'll just do a little bit of a recap. Okay. I will do the recap for you today. Okay. And probably from the next class, I'll ask you guys some questions. Right? Just let me check how many participants are there. Great. And yes, before I start even the recap, today being Friday, we have a doubt clearing session post our class. Okay, we will continue in the same meeting ID because obviously it may be a hassle for everybody to log out and then log in using another ID. Correct? I will give you like 10 minutes break after 6:30. So if you want, you can go freshen up or get yourself some tea or coffee, whatever. And then we'll start the doubt clearing session. The doubt clearing session will ideally be for an hour. But again, it depends on the number of questions people ask, whatever clarifications you need. And the doubt clearing session will only be for the module we've covered so far. Okay. Yeah, because I don't want to talk about the other modules and confuse you and unnecessary information at this point since we're taking it step by step. Is it clear? If this is clear, please type a yes in the chat so I know everybody. Great. Super. Great. All right. Thank you, Jeshma, Dr. Rakshanda, everybody who's been, actively interacting on the chat as much as possible. All right. So let's start with day 5. All right. Like I said, I'm going to do a quick recap. Yesterday, we understood that the reading module is the second part of the IELTS examination. Listening, reading, and writing, they are conducted together. Correct? Now, be it paper-based or computer-based, doesn't matter. The reading module is, the duration of the reading module is 1 hour. You do not get even 1 minute more, including the paper-based candidates. Computer-based candidates, your computer screen will freeze and move. You will have to move on to the next module. In case of the paper-based candidates, the invigilators will come and take your papers from you. If you are found writing, they may not even take your paper. In fact, they will warn you. So please be careful. Okay. Having said that, the reading test is divided into 3 sections. If you're an academic candidate, you have 3 full-length passages and 40 questions associated with these passages, obviously. If you are a general training candidate, in section 1 and 2, you will have to solve or tackle 2 passages each, and section 3 has 1 passage. All right, and total number of questions are 40, not more than that. For general training candidates, in section 1, they will generally give you reading comprehension passages which are related to social survival skills. Okay, your passages are generally pulled out from blogs, general resources like blogs or newspapers, advertisements, so to say. And in the first section, you may get something like advertisements of different hotels with their facilities and questions related to that. Okay, this I'm talking only for general training candidates, guys. The second section deals with work-related information. So you will have 2 passages again, and the passages will basically contain probably different departments of an organization and explanation and questions related to that. And section 3 is just more of an article or informative text and just 1 full-length test passage along with some questions related to that. So you will have anywhere between 12 to 14 questions per section. Academic candidates, on the other hand, as you have only 3 full-length passages, each passage is related to some sort of information or academics, okay? For example, you may have information about the migration cycle of birds. That could be one passage. Or, you know, you may have a passage which talks about farming, all right? And maybe one passage which talks about evolution of computers, right? Very informative passages is what you will get, academic candidates. But again, total number of questions are always going to be 40, anywhere between 12 to 14 questions per section. All right. Is it clear so far, guys? Yes, no, maybe? Please type in the chat if everything's clear so far. Great. Lovely. Okay. Now, moving on. Just a second, please. Yeah, moving on. We have different types of questions, different question types, all right? The question types for both academic and general training candidates remain the same. There's no difference, all right? We need to understand how to solve these questions. That's about it, all right? Now, we have question types like multiple choice questions, match the following, match the headings. You will get completion or fill in the blanks kind of question type, but the fill in the blanks question type has different categories within it, okay? Short answer question type and true, false, not given, or yes, no, not given, okay? Yesterday, we did not start off with any question types, or in the last class, we did not start off with any question types. Instead, we learned some reading techniques. I spoke to you about 2 main techniques, skimming and scanning, right? Skimming basically is to, as soon as you get your question paper or the reading test, you will have to first read the heading of that passage and read the first line of every paragraph in that reading comprehension passage. Please remember, you have to read that first line also very carefully and not just superficially. By reading that first line carefully, you will be able to understand what that particular paragraph is trying to tell you, the context of every paragraph in that passage, okay? This becomes easy because when you then move on to the questions, read the questions and mark some keywords, you will be able to map those questions to its appropriate paragraph, all right? That is exactly why we need to do skimming technique. Scanning is nothing but after you finish this process of reading the first sentence of every paragraph, move on to the questions, all right? Read the questions properly. Again, never ever do anything superficially in the IELTS examination. That would just, you know, get you into trouble, all right? Read the question properly and mark the keywords. The moment you mark the keywords, you will have to go back to the passage and then pick up your answers, the appropriate answers. All right, by matching the keywords of the question, the keywords or those specific words or synonyms in the passage. Remember one thing, questions generally will be paraphrased. When I say paraphrased, it means questions will be restructured, reframed. They will not always use words or statements as it is from the passage. Okay, all right. Is this clear? Everybody, please thumbs up or just type a yes in the chat. Okay, great, good. If you have any doubts, you can put it in the chat. I will answer. Okay, I believe no doubts so far. Okay. Okay. Yes. This is a bit of recap that we did. We did skimming and scanning yesterday. Today we are going to start off with the question types. All right. We will cover a few question types today. But before, and in fact, we will be focusing on completion question types, fill in the blank question types. All right, that's what we're going to be doing today. Yeah, so we'll focus on the sentence completion question type, short answer question types, and if time permits, we will also do summary completion question types. All right. The reason why I haven't put it here specifically is because I want to see how everybody is able to digest or assimilate whatever I'm saying. And then based on that, we will do summary completion also. Moving on. Yes, it is important for all of us to understand that in completion and short answer question types, we always will get instructions. And usually, the kind of instructions are always just these three. Write no more than one word and or a number. Write no more than 2 words and or a number. And write no more than 3 words and or a number. Nothing more than that. These are the 3 instructions that you will usually get in your completion question type, completion questions. Okay. Always make it a point to read the instruction. Now, I'm going to explain to you what these instructions actually mean. Okay. Now, if you notice, each instruction is actually 2 separate instructions put together as one. No more than 2 words and a number. Let me just quickly write it. No more than 2 words or a number, and no more than 2 words and a number. Okay. So let us understand what are the possible answers can we get for these 2 instructions. Okay. Now, when I say no more than, it means I cannot write beyond those many number of words. So when we look at it here, it says no more than 2 words. It means my answer can never be 3 words. It is going to be incorrect in that case. Okay. When I say no more than 2 words, it means I can write up to 2 words. My answer can be just 1 word or 2 words. All right. And here it says no more than 2 words or a number. So my answer can either be 1 word, 2 words, or just a number. All right, clear? Now, when we look at the second part of the instruction, it says no more than 2 words and a number. When I say and, it means addition, more like addition, right? So my answer can't go beyond 2 words, obviously, correct? So my answer can be up to 2 words. So my answer may be 1 word. It says and a number, plus a number, 2 words and a number. Getting my point here? Everybody, any doubts, any questions so far, please type in the chat. If it's all clear, you can just give me a thumbs up. So far, so good. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to quickly type your questions in the chat. Yes, Aparna, for the instruction, no more than 2 words and or a number, you can't go beyond 2 words. If it is no more than 3 words and or a number, you can't go beyond 3 words. No, I'm not talking, okay, Aparna's question is, I'm sure everybody is able to see it in the chat. 2 words and a number will be 3 entities. A number is a separate entity, words are a separate entity. Aparna, you getting my point? Yeah? Everybody, is it clear? If you have understood, please show me thumbs up or type a yes in the chat. Otherwise, you can ask me a question. If you do not interact, I would not know. Okay, great. All right. So please understand, words are different, number is different. Do not get confused. They are two separate entities. It clearly says no more than two words. Two words. I can't go beyond two words, but I can add a number because it says no more than two words and a number. All right. Now we've looked at these two instructions separately. However, in our exam, we usually would get no more than two words and or a number. Hold on, somebody has a question, looks like. Aloshi, I'm going to answer that question. Keep that thought, okay? I'll get to that eventually. So when I say no more than two words and or a number, my answer can be just one word or just two words or a number, or my answer can be one word and a number or two words and a number. Okay, these are the number of possible answers. It totally depends on the text and the question. Please understand this. There's a little bit of logic we have to add here. Rakshanda, I will give you an example. Please wait. I've not yet completed it. Okay. Now, let me give you guys an example now. All right. Over here it says no more than two words and or a number. My answer can be just a word. So let's say children. Or depending, again, remember this very clearly. I am just telling you the instructions and the possible number of answers for this particular instruction. Okay. Now, based on the text, based on the question, you will have to pull out the answers. Two words, maybe happy children. Okay. A number, let's say 30. One word and a number, 30 children. And then we have two words and a number, 30 happy children. Is it clear so far, everybody? Have you understood? Any doubts, any questions? Clear? Yash, Divya, Anila, Rakshanda, Vinita, Nidin, Prashanti, Stensi. Okay, there's a. Okay, great. I'm glad that it's clear so far. Now, I'm going to clear the screen. Is that okay? Because I've written the same thing in the PPT. I'm just going to go ahead and clear the screen. All right. Now, Aloshi asked me a question. He asked me if 20 happy people is correct. I am not going to answer this. I'm going to leave it to you guys. If this is correct, 20, that is I've spelled 20 happy people. If this is correct for the instructions, like no more than two words and or a number, if it is correct, write correct. If it is not correct, say not or no. Okay, Stancy, okay, Aparna. The others, you also think and you also send in your answers. Thank you, Jeshma. Okay, Anila, thank you for even explaining that. I'm going to get to that next. Good, very nice, Dr. Dinu. The others, what about the others? Divya Teja, Nitin Raj, Prashanti, what do you guys think? Rana, Vinita, Yash. All right. Most of you have written it is not correct. Why? I'm going to just unmute somebody. Okay, on my own. I'm not going to ask for anybody to volunteer. I'm just going to ask somebody to answer. All right. Anila, I'm going to unmute you. Please unmute.
Yes,
hi, Anila.
Hi.
Hi. All right. Why did you say that 20 spelling? Okay, after I spelled it, happy people is incorrect?
Because the 20 is a word and it will be counted as a word.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks, Anila. You may mute yourself. All right. It's okay if I spell a number. It's absolutely okay if I spell a number and write 20. However, the moment I spell a number, it is going to be considered as a word. Even though it's a number, I have to write the digits. If I have, if you know, I want the examiner to count it as a number, I have to write it as 20. If I want the examiner to count this as a number. However, if I write 20, the spelling, it is going to be considered as a word. All right. So automatically what happens now, we have 3 words and it does not match. It does not, of course, match the instructions. So it is incorrect. Is it clear, Aloshi? Aloshi, is it clear? The others, is it clear? Yes? Okay, great, super. All right, lovely. Now, sometimes we may, I'm going to show you another example, okay? Now that we've understood, you can spell numbers. That's absolutely fine. However, it's going to be considered as a word. So now let me just show you an example. Let's say the instruction is write no more than 2 words. The answer, it doesn't say and or number, it simply says write no more than 2 words. And my answer happens to be 45. Okay. In the chat, please tell me how will you write 45 as, how will you spell 45? Your answer is a number, but we can't write a number here because the instruction says no more than 2 words. How will you write it? Okay. Thank you, Aloshi. Thanks, Rakshanda. The others also, please go ahead. Okay. Great. Super. Make sure your spellings are right, okay? Because if your spellings are incorrect, then it's going to be a problem. Dr. Linu, when you say write in words, that's exactly what I'm asking you. How will you write it? Can you please spell it for me? Okay. All right, great. Now, let's say the instruction is not write no more than 2 words. The instruction is write no more than 1 word. And your answer is 52. How will you write it? You can't write a number, obviously. How will you write it if your instruction is no more than 1 word and the answer is 52? Okay. Dr. Linu, the instruction says no more than 1 word. I've got some very interesting answers. There's somebody with the name Galaxy A20s. Can you please change your name, rename yourself so I know who it is? Okay, everybody. Okay, all right. I've got pretty interesting answers. Now, let me help you out, okay? Whether it is no more than 1 word or write no more than 2 words, and my answer happens to be a number, say 45, I will always have to write it with a hyphen, or 52. Always write it with a hyphen. Every time you spell a 2-digit number, please always, no matter what the instruction is, write it with a hyphen or a dash. Now, what happens? What would this be considered? How would they consider this? This is going to be considered as 2 separate numbers, 40 and 5, which is not correct. Our answer is 1 number, right? 45, which is why you need to put a hyphen if it's a double-digit number that you need to spell, irrespective of the instruction. Is it clear, everybody? Yes? Anisha, Prashanti, Stency, Anila. Great. Aparna, Divya, super. All right. Okay. Now, have you all understood the instructions? Please remember, for completion question types, any completion question types, and for short answer question types, you will get instructions, and it is very important to read the instruction before you start solving the questions. Okay? Yes, no, maybe. Great. Let's move on, and let's start with today's sentence completion topic. Okay? So what is sentence completion? Simple. Fill in the blanks. Our regular fill in the blanks. Another thing I would want to request all of you is please switch on your cameras. Please switch on your videos. So at least we have a feeling of being in a classroom. Otherwise, I feel I'm talking to myself. And please remember, we are trying to make it as interactive as possible. All right? Okay. Sentence completion is nothing but your regular fill in the blanks. Okay. However, okay, 1 second, I'm going to go back to the instruction if somebody has some query. Will 45 be considered as one word on total? Okay, totally, or 2 words? 1 word. Every time you put a hyphen, that's exactly what I explained some time back, Rana. Let me just explain it one more time. 40-5 is 1 word and 1 number. Okay, the moment I write 45 without a hyphen, there are 2 separate words and 2 separate numbers. Okay, are you getting the point now, Rana? Is it clear? Rana, did you understand? Is it clear? Please let me know, because I will have to move on with the class. If there's any query, you can ask me. Okay, great. Super. Okay, so what is it that you have to do in sentence completion? Simple. You have a text. Guys, are you all able to hear me clearly? Prashanti, you will have to check at your end, because everybody is able to hear me, and I don't think there's any problem at my end at the moment. Okay, just check. Probably you can log out and log in. Okay, yeah. So you will always have a reading comprehension passage and some fill in the blank questions. Okay. First things first, we will always look at the text. We will look at the passage. We will go through the first sentence of every paragraph, go to the questions and read those statements, underline the keywords, and then see what is that missing word, or what are those missing words in that sentence that we need to figure out from the passage. Normal fill in the blanks. Okay. For example, over here, hold on. Yeah, over here, there is a statement. We have a passage to our left. There's a statement. Okay, there's some word or some words that are missing. We need to understand what are those. We need to look at the keywords, go back to the paragraph, try and figure out where the missing words are and write them. Okay, is it clear? That's what is fill in the missing sentence completion. Now what we are going to do is, let's just quickly, again, we'll just read the first statement and go to the question. Okay, it says, about 50 years later, in 1827, the Scottish botanist Robert Brown described something curiously similar to something. Okay, now this paragraph is talking about some discovery made by this person, or botanist or scientist called Robert Brown. Now, what we'll go to the question next. Write no more than 3 words. What does that mean? My answer can be either 1 word or 2 words or 3 words. Okay. Remember one more thing. in your question, or your questions will always be paraphrased. However, when you pick your answer, it has to be as it is from the passage. You cannot write synonyms, you cannot change the format, you cannot restructure the words, okay? So what are the keywords here? Let's read the question properly and then look at the keywords. It says, the type of random jittery movement of tiny particles is called. So we need to find out what is this? There are some tiny particles. What is this random movement of these particles called? What is the name of this random movement of some tiny particles? Okay. Before we start reading the whole text, which I don't want you to do, try and understand and try and look at different synonyms or words which go and match all the keywords of random jittery movement in our paragraph. Let us quickly run through them. Okay. Now, while scanning, while just quickly running through, I can see that there is random jittery dance given here. But anywhere around it, can I see what it is called? What is the name? No. So I'm going to move on. There is something here, tiny particles also. I'm just matching the keywords or matching the synonyms. Guys, I can't see the name of this dance or the random jittery movement here. So I'm going to go down. There's another keyword here, another word here which matches random jittery movement, strange motion. Again, can I see any statement or any word which tells us the name of this random jittery movement? No. I'm going to go move forward, and I'm again checking if there are any synonyms that match the keyword in our question. It says particular type of movement, and it's called Brownian motion. So I have finally found my answer. That particular type of movement, which is nothing but random jittery movement, again synonym, it is called Brownian motion. So my answer is, have you all understood how I solved this? I did not go through the entire text. I just picked up the keywords. I went to the passage. I marked those keywords, which either are synonyms or the exact keywords. Just found out, quickly ran through it, glanced through it to see if that particular word or the name of that particular jittery movement is there around it. I did not find it, so I went going further down. Okay. Now, because this is just one paragraph, you may find it a little confusing. Once you have multiple paragraphs, you will be able to understand how to skim and scan better. Okay, Aparna, very good question. Will it be an error if it is not if B is not in capital? See, preferably, ideally, you should write B in uppercase, because I'm sorry, I didn't write it while quickly typing. You have to write it in uppercase because it's a proper noun. Okay, so it's better you write it in uppercase rather than all small. Okay, be it computer based or paper based. Guys, have you understood how I solved this particular question, this particular sentence completion question? If you've understood, please type a yes in the chat. Otherwise, just ask me your query. If you've understood, please type a yes. Okay. Can we write entire words in caps? Stency, if you're taking a paper-based test, yes, I would not really recommend that for computer-based test. Okay. What about Yash? What about Divya, Dr. Leenu, Jeshma, Prashanti, Rana? Have you all understood? Okay, great. Now, what I'm going to do is, let's move on. This is an activity which I want you guys to do. Okay. First, go through the first line and understand what each paragraph is telling you. Go to the question, look at the keywords and match. Make a note of your answer or put your answers in the chat. Okay. I'm giving you guys 2 to 3 minutes to do this. Once you've got the answers, type it in the chat. Please remember, you have to write words as it is and also look at the instructions. Please look at the instructions and do not miss out any words in between either. Anisha, look at the instructions for your second answer and write it accordingly. I will discuss the answers in a bit. The others, one more minute, and I want everybody to send in the answers. Otherwise, I'm going to just start discussing. Good. Okay, let's discuss. Okay, all right, super. So the first paragraph talks about Einstein's theory about pollen grains moving around. The second paragraph talks about some observations, which also with proper calculations, which confirm that atoms are real. And in the third paragraph, they're talking majorly about atoms. Okay, and also giving us information that atoms are not single solid balls, but they can be broken down. Okay, now a lot of you have sent in some. Okay, great. Now let's look at the questions. In the questions, the first question asks us, sentence, I'm sorry. It says, Einstein explained the phenomenon of particles' strange motion by the fact that they were collapsing with something. So first of all, where is Einstein's phenomenon being explained in the first paragraph? Because clearly they're talking about Einstein's theory over here, correct? Now, and they're talking about particles collapsing. Collapsing, there is a word crashing. Motion, moving around. These are the keywords, all right? Now, what does it say? It says, over here, let's look at the sentence, because they were constantly crashing into millions of tinier molecules of water, molecules that were made of atoms. Our answer, I just told you some time back, has to be exactly the way it is in the paragraph. If in the paragraph it says molecules of water, we cannot write it as water molecules. Please write it as it is. Okay, so our first answer is molecules of water. Also, the instruction here says no more than 3 words, so we can write 3 words. Everybody, is it clear? Hold on. See, you can, again, paper-based candidates, you can go ahead and write everything in caps. I wouldn't suggest that for computer-based candidates, okay? Now, the second question is, nowadays, scientists consider atom structures similar to tiny something. Now, what do scientists consider the structure of atoms to be? Here, they've not really spoken about atom structures and what scientists consider them to be. It's talked about internal structure, but nothing beyond that. So let's move on. As we move on, we understand that atom is also known as indivisible. However, the scientists or physicists have understood they're not tiny solid little balls. It is better to think of them as tiny electrical planetary systems. So because it says no more than 3 words, I can write electrical planetary systems. Okay, my answer is electrical planetary systems. They're asking us what are they comparing atoms to? Okay, and finally, dash are parts that are circling around the nucleus. Okay, we need to see where we find words like circling, nucleus. So when I go further down, I see the word nucleus here. I see the word orbit somewhere at the end. Okay, so dash are parts that are circling around the nucleus. Let's read everything about the nucleus, all right? Think of protons and neutrons coming together, forming a sun or nucleus. So what is a nucleus? Protons plus neutrons is called nucleus. The electrons orbit this nucleus like planets. So what is our answer for this? Electrons. Electrons are parts that are circling around the nucleus. Everybody, is it clear? Most of you got it right, no doubt. Please tell me if you understood. Any doubts, any questions? Have you all understood how to do this? Okay. Aparna, you want me to do the third question again? Okay. So let us look at the keyword nucleus. Where is nucleus present? Somewhere in the third paragraph. Correct? Let me read everything related to nucleus. They are, in the sense, atoms are typically made of three main parts: protons, neutrons, and electrons. Think of the protons and neutrons as together forming a nucleus, sun or nucleus. So what is the nucleus? Protons plus neutrons. What is the third one left? Electrons. Now, what are they talking about electrons? These electrons are orbit around the nucleus like planets. Orbiting is what? Circling. If you don't know the word orbit in this sense, if just in case, I'm sure you would have heard in terms of planets. Our planets orbit the sun. So you know what planets do. Connect it like that. So the answer is electrons. Is it clear, Aparna? Let me just check if you have any questions. No, Dr. Rakshanda, in paper-based test, you don't have to only write in caps. You can write in all caps. Okay. I did not say you have to. Is it clear, Dr. Rakshanda? Divya Teja, did you understand the explanation for the third question? Okay, let's move on. Okay. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is, okay, we have one more. Finish this one, and then we'll do a small activity. I'm going to give you exactly 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, I need you to send in your answers. We'll check the answers, and I want to give you another activity. That's why. Remember, guys, in your sentences usually will be paraphrased. Okay. All right. I want everybody to send in the answers. Otherwise, you guys will go on. Aparna, Anita, Divya Teja, Prashanti, Stensi, Dr. Linu, Yash, Aloshi, Anisha, come on, send in your answers quickly. Also, make sure your spellings are correct, all right? Do not make spelling mistakes, because that also will, you will be given incorrect, or your scores will be cut. Okay, I'm going to share the answers. So the first answer, great. Actually, most of you, I've been looking at your answers, and most of you are doing a good job. All right, so it says hydro, and the instruction is no more than 2 words. Please always read the instructions. Hydroelectric plants produce energy by passing flowing water. It's in the first statement itself, through a turbine. Electricity is produced by delivering water turbine rotation to a generator. That's in the second statement of this first paragraph. The amount of electricity that can be produced at hydroelectric plant relies upon dash and flow rate. Okay, so we need, okay, we've seen head here, but where is it talking about flow rate? It's in the second paragraph. Now, what and flow rate? If you go down further, you have the statement which says the amount of electricity that is produced is thus proportional to the head product and the flow rate. Okay. And finally, your answer is global warming. Hydroelectric power plants do not release any pollutants into the atmosphere, so they do not cause global warming. All right. Okay. With this, I'm going to put you guys in breakout rooms. All right. Have you all understood? If you've understood sentence completion, please tell me a yes. After that, I want to quickly finish off short answer questions and then move on to a doubt clearing session. All right. Okay, guys. What if we write one word instead of 2 words? Dr. Rakshanga, you will have to write words based on the sentence that is given to you. You can't just write, for example, second question, or first question, hydroelectric plants produce energy by passing water through a turbine. It's not just normal water, it needs flowing water. So your answer needs to be grammatically correct. You have to place your answer properly in terms of grammar. Okay. If the word flowing was present in the sentence, then writing just water is absolutely okay. So please understand the sentence and accordingly write your answers based on the instructions. Okay. No, third question can't only be head. Is that sentence matching that sentence which is talking about head, Dr. Rakshanga? No. Please read the sentence also properly. Just because we see a word and it matches, read the sentence, see if the sentence is matching, and only then give your answer. Is it clear, everybody? Now, I'm going to put you all in breakout rooms and I'm going to share a PDF document in the group. Discuss with your group members. I'm not going to give you more than 4 to 5 minutes. I will pull you back into the main room after 4 to 5 minutes. We'll discuss the answers, and in the next couple of minutes, we'll finish short answer questions. Okay. I would recommend all of you to stay because we have not finished the question types yet. One second, please. I'm just assigning these groups to you guys. the rooms, please join the breakout room. Anirudh, you can go through the text here. Let's wait for the others also to join. Come back from the breakout room. Okay, great. How was the activity? Were you all able to solve this particular question type? Sentence completion, just say yes. Whoever wants can start sending their answers in the chat. I am going to share your answer. I'm going to share the answers. The answer is 2008, the first one. Second is 143, because the instruction says one word or a number, not even and. Okay. Its effect on the environment, quantity of the Earth's resources, the health of the population, how happy its citizens are. Okay. I'll also, yeah. I'm just going to, yes, Yash. Yes. Do you have a question?
Yes, why it is environment? I guess it should be planet. Like there is no environment mentioned specifically.
Why not?
Like it is already, see, planet is the nearer answer, I guess. It is already mentioned, like how much of the planet's resources each country consumes. So it affects the planet.
But Earth has already been mentioned here, then why will you write planet again? When you look at
it is mentioned on brackets to explain, like that is the quantity of Earth's resources.
Earth dash, right? So yeah. Why effect on the planet? Now, one more thing. If you, that is one thought process. If you look at this particular statement in the first paragraph, okay, it says the index is a ranking of countries based on impact on the environment, health, and happiness, and of course, they've explained it. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Now, okay, I'm going to go back to the PPT because we have to move on to the next question type, and after that we will take the doubts. All right. Now, short answer questions are again very similar to completion question type. You will have to go through the instructions. You will be given instructions. Short answers questions don't mean that you have to write full length answers. Your answers again will be based on the instructions. Write no more than one word and or a number, 2 words or 3 words. Okay. What should you do? Skim through the paragraph, look at the question, the keywords, and then pick up the appropriate answers. Okay. The only difference between completion question types of fill in the blanks and short answers is that you will get these are all in question format, not fill in the blank format. That's all. At the end of the day, we have to solve it in the same manner. All right. Let's just quickly take a look at an example here. You have a passage here. You have some questions here with instruction. Instead of a blank, they have just given the same thing in a question format. Okay. Now let me do one quickly for you here. And I'll just do the first paragraph and the first question. Okay. It says, for many years, the wealthy and academically bright chose to attend the prestigious universities in Britain or America if they wanted to get an overseas degree. Okay. Here it says no more than 3 words, not and or a number. I can write up to 3 words, 1, 2, or 3 words. It says, in which countries did gifted overseas students usually study? Gifted. Where is this word, or what is the synonym of this particular word in the paragraph? Wealthy and academically bright. Okay. So where did these people want to study or prefer studying or usually study? Britain or America. So what is my answer? Britain or America. Is it clear? Everybody, please type a yes in the chat if you've understood what you're supposed to do. Great. Now what I want you to do is, I'm going to give you all 1 minute only. Go through the first sentence of every paragraph and finish solving questions 2 and 3. Send the answers to me in the chat. 1 minute, not more than that. Shouldn't take you more than that. Guys, please start sending in your answers in the chat. All right, let's discuss the answers. Okay, now that I've got a lot of answers, most of you have answered. First of all, please read the questions properly, all right? Please read the questions properly. Otherwise, you'll just make mistakes. The second paragraph tells us that there are some difficulties to get to UK and USA. That's the first sentence all about, and that's the paragraph all about. Here, the question says, apart from visa applications, what else has made it more difficult for students to choose UK or USA? In the first line we have, with more difficult visa application processes and higher tuition fees? The answer cannot be high tuition or high fees. Like I told you, write it as it is. Your instructions are very clear, no more than 3 words. So your answer has to be higher tuition fees. The next question, what proportion, that is, what fraction or how much of master's courses in the Netherlands use English as the language of instruction? How much or how many master's courses in this particular country use English as language of instruction? In the Netherlands, over half of its master's level courses are now taught in English. Proportion is obviously a fraction or a number, so the answer is over half. Clear, guys? Yes, everybody, please show hands, thumbs up. Great. Let's move on. Okay, you've got the answers. Do this one, and then we'll close the session and start with the doubt clearing session, obviously. Here, I've only given you one paragraph because we are only practicing and trying to understand how these question types work. Okay. In your exam, you will have at least 5, 6, or 7 paragraphs in one passage. All right. Please start sending in your answers in the chat. Divya, Teja, Yash, Rakshanda, Dr. Leenu, Rana, please send in your answers. Okay, let's discuss. Okay. So okay. Now please pay attention. Whether you've sent across the answers or not, just pay attention here. So in this paragraph, they're talking about the Brooklyn Bridge. Okay, giving you details about the Brooklyn Bridge. The instruction says no more than 2 words and or a number, which means my answer can just be 1 word or 2 words or one number, or it can be one word and a number, two words and a number, no problem. Okay, make sure it doesn't go beyond two words. And another thing I've told you, you have to write the words as it is from the text. You can't delete certain words, add certain words. You can't do that. You have to pick it up as it is from the text. The first question is, how long is the Brooklyn Bridge's main span? Long. How long? What is the length of Brooklyn Bridge's main span? Not how long before was it created, Stency. Okay. So when you look at it, it says this paragraph contains some numbers. So let us read. The Brooklyn Bridge is dwarfed by modern suspension bridges, the longest of which is 1991 meters. Here they are comparing, they're saying that Brooklyn Bridge is actually now smaller than the bridges in these days, and the longest bridge in the current day is 1991 meters long. But at that time of its construction, it was the longest suspension bridge in the world at 480 meters. Just because you see a number, don't just write it. See, there are two other numbers. Look at some things around it and then write your answer. The answer to the first question is 480 meters. The second question is, what was the Brooklyn Bridge called at the opening function? This is quite simple. Eighth wonder. Please don't write eighth wonder of the world. Even if you write eighth wonder of world, you are cutting the. What did I tell you? You can't delete or eliminate words. You have to write it as it is from the text. So your answer is simply eighth wonder. You don't have to write sentences in short answer questions. Just the way you don't write long answers or sentences in fill in the blanks. Here also you have to follow the instructions properly. And finally, what was the length of the earlier record holder? Very simple, 322 meters. Clear, everybody? Do you have any questions? Can I explain? Can you use first? No, you can't use, Anirudh, you can't use hyphen for a word and a number. Only for numbers, when two-digit numbers are there and you're spelling it, you can use a hyphen. Just because the moment you use hyphen, it becomes one word or something, you can't use it anywhere. That is grammatically incorrect. And what are we doing? We are actually preparing for an English language test. So grammar plays a huge role. All right. Aparna, let's look at the first question. How long is the Brooklyn Bridge's main span? 1991 meters is not the length of Brooklyn Bridge. It is the length of modern suspension bridges. What does it say? What does dwarfed mean? Short, small. The Brooklyn Bridge is dwarfed by modern suspension bridges, the longest of modern suspension bridge is 1991 meters. But at that time of construction, Brooklyn Bridge, it is nothing but Brooklyn Bridge was the longest suspension bridge in the world at 480 meters. Is this clear now, Aparna? Did you understand the sentence? Aparna, do you understand the sentence? Everybody, is it clear? Okay, great. Great. All right. Okay. Superb. Any doubts, any questions in sentence completion or short answer questions? Any doubts, any questions? If no doubts, no questions, you can just simply type no doubts or no queries. All right, if it's clear, do not log out. Whoever wants to, okay, yes, in sentence completion. Okay, Aloshi, what we're going to do is hold on to your thought. We anyway, Aloshi, I like your question. I'm going to anyway take the doubt clearing session now. What we'll do is, don't log out. Whoever has any queries, any questions, and even if you don't have any questions or queries, stay back. We will start a doubt clearing session the next 10 minutes in the same link. Don't log out. Is it clear? Aparna and Aloshi, I'm going to answer your questions now after 10 minutes. Is it clear? Please let me know. Yes? Okay. Yes. All right. So you all can just quickly finish up whatever you have. We'll meet at 7:05. Okay. It's 6:55 now. Don't log out unless you have work. Don't log out. If you have doubts, stay back. We'll clear your doubts in the next couple of minutes and then we can close the session for today. Okay. 10 minutes. We'll take a break and come back. Yes, so if somebody has some work, if you need to go urgently, the doubt clearing session also will be added in the recording. Do not worry about that. But I would recommend whoever has doubts in speaking or in the last 2 days of reading, stay back, we'll clear that, okay? And we'll meet at 7:05. Hi guys, are you there? You can give me a thumbs up if you're there. We can start off. All right. I already got 2 questions. Let me first go through those questions. And also, if you have any other questions, you can raise your hand, okay? Hold on. Aparna and Alushi, you both have asked me some questions. Let me answer that first. Okay, Alushi, your question is, in sentence completion, can we change the form of the word? Do you mean if in the passage we have molecules of water, do you mean can we write water molecules? Yes, I'm going to unmute you just a second. No, she's not here. Okay, all right. So for that particular question, you have to write the words as it is, the answer as it is from the text. You cannot change the form of the word. So if your passage has molecules of water, you have to write it as molecules of water. Okay, all right. Aparna, you had questions regarding. I'm going to unmute you. Hold on. Yeah, can you please ask me a question out loud?
I was finding difficult to find the answers for the 3, 4, 5. The first one, fill in the blanks. I couldn't find it even.
Why not?
Maybe I was just looking for the words, but I didn't know what exactly. I was like super confused. 3, 4, 5. I couldn't get it.
Okay. Okay. So we've understood that it's talking about which country is the happiest in the world, correct? And we have this Happy Planet Index, correct? Now, measure so and so measures each country's happiness according to what? There are 3 areas based on which they are measuring happiness, and that's mentioned in the first paragraph, and its detailed explanation is given in the 3rd paragraph, correct?
Okay.
Yeah. So look at this. It says measures each country's happiness according to some things, and that is the index of its ranking countries based on their impact on the environment and health and happiness. So it says its effect on the dash, and they've given you an explanation to actually what you need to look for. So here it says that is the quantity of earth something, right? So its effect on what? The environment, and that is the quantity of the earth's resources. The detailed explanation is given below. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You
So
need
the
to.
resources, where was it exactly?
So environment is here and planet's resources.
So is there any possibility that it can be jumbled up like this?
Sometimes yes, not all the time.
Okay.
Not all the time, but sometimes
Maybe
yes.
Okay, I was looking the same order, and
Most of the times it's in the same order. Sometimes it can be jumbled.
okay.
Okay. Now that we've done this, I'm sure you'll be able to do the next one also. Would you like to try? Go back to the third paragraph only if you want, because the explanation is here. And the others, if you have any other question, please keep it ready.
Okay, can you give me some time?
Okay, or you can do it, go back and do it. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Or I'll tell you the answer. You can go through it once again. You can do it once again.
Okay.
So it says the dash of the population, and they've given you an explanation how long people live. So when you look at it, how long they live is here.
Okay, happiness.
Which reflects their health.
Health.
So the health of the population, that is how long people live. Getting it? So even when you locate the answer, the idea is quickly glance through the statement around that particular word in the passage, so you know what exactly to pick. Clear?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Aparna, is this clear?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Any doubts? Any questions? Please raise your hand, and I will ask you. I will unmute you, and you can ask me the question. Anila, Aparna, Bhavan, Dr. Leenu, Jeshma, Nidin, Prashanti, Stency. Any doubts? All clear? Yash? Okay. Yash, I've asked you to unmute.
Yes. All clear.
All clear? Okay. That even in speaking module, Nidin, Stency. Okay, wow, all right. Okay, everything, okay. No queries. So nobody has any other query or doubt? All right. So if you guys don't have any queries, what I'll do is we'll probably extend this by another 10 minutes. And whoever wants to answer part 1 questions, part 2 or part 3 speaking questions, raise your hand. I will ask you. Okay. Let's do some speaking assignment and then log off after 10 minutes. All right. Just a second, let me pull out some questions. All right. I'm going to start with some part 1 questions. Would anybody like to answer? Please raise your hand. I will ask you. 1 question per person, whoever wants to answer. Okay, Aparna, let's start with you. Yeah, please unmute. Okay, Aparna, we're going to talk about your hometown. All right. How important is your hometown to you and why?
I'm basically from the southern part of India, from a city called Coimbatore. It's the importance of the city for me is actually people say that people in Coimbatore give respect to others and they treat everybody with whatever the age is, whatever the religion or caste, they treat everybody as equal and as one. And I actually forgot the question.
Do not let this happen in your exam, okay?
Yeah.
How important is your hometown to you? So now that you've said this, try and choose your answer.
Okay, so the important thing is it actually taught me the culture and how I should be treating others with respect.
Okay. So you can start off by saying that my hometown is very important to me because, and then follow it up with this. Okay. Good, Aparna. But your points were nice, no doubt. Okay. Please mute yourself, Aparna. Thank you. Yash, please unmute. Hi, Yash. Please unmute because only then I can ask you a question. Anybody else who wants to answer, please raise your hand. I will go ahead and ask you some questions and we can close the session. Okay. Hold on. Let's talk about weather or climate. Okay, part one again. What is your favorite kind of weather and why?
My favorite kind of weather is a time when summer is arriving and winter is going away. It is not a good news, but when winter ends and summer starts, that part of the duration is very much favorable for us, so that we can travel and explore the places nearby. And temperature on those timings usually stays between 20 to 35, which is very favorable for the travelers.
All right, you could have used the word ideal.
Ideal,
okay,
yes.
You were looking for some word, but good. Answer was good. But Yash, please don't say we for travelers, for us, because it's not a general question. It's about
okay. It was for me, yeah.
Yeah. So answer as first person, I. Okay. Another thing, the weather conditions, not on these times, during these times, during prepositions. Okay. Just go through prepositions quickly, right? Also, I liked how you said when summer, when during the start of summer and when winter ends. You were fine. I don't know why you again said the same thing. You were trying to.
I thought, when winter was ending, but I told winter going away. I thought I said winter was going away, which is not correct, I guess.
Okay. You were fine. Your answer was good. Just focus on prepositions, all right, Yash? Thank you.
Okay.
Please mute yourself. Anybody else who would like to answer? Prashanti, Divya, Linu, Tensi. Or should I just pick? I think I should do that. Okay. I'm going to share a part 2 question and I'm going to pick somebody to answer. And even though I pick somebody else to answer, I want all of you to make your notes, okay? Hold on. I'm just sharing my screen and I'll share the question here. Yeah, So the question is, describe an advertisement that persuaded you to buy a product. You should say what the advertisement was. Was it shown on TV, radio, or newspaper? What was good about that advertisement, and explain why you think that advertisement made the product seem attractive. Okay, your 1 minute note making time starts now, after which I'm going to pick somebody. So please make your notes and keep it ready. All right, everybody, please stop making notes. Divya, I would like you to unmute and answer the question, please. Divya, please unmute. Divya, are you going to unmute and answer? All right, let's move on. Somebody else has raised their hand. Prashanti, okay, great. Prashanti, please unmute.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Yeah. Well.
One second. Let me start the timer.
Yeah, ma'am. Well, most of the people attract to the product on the advertisement was shown is iPulse. Recently, I saw the iPulse. It's a premium brand product. It's really good for health, and it is in a most immunity, and also it's good for health of children from 1 to 6 years, and it was made up of aceta berry. Mostly these berries are found at Australia and Africa, Amazon forest sites, and most of this product is mainly made up of Ayush premium products. And I saw these products on advertisement on TV, like some of the brand ambassadors giving about the product explanation and the health benefits regarding that. And most of the people are using it, and it was really attractive for the people. Why it's so attractive means it's having a good content, like all Ayurvedic medicine values, so that they can improve their health in this pandemic time. It made me to think of that product, whether we need to reuse or resell of the product, like an entrepreneur. It made me a good health benefits also for each and everyone should use this product in this pandemic time.
Okay, all right, you spoke for 1.5 minutes. I want you to focus on your grammar majorly. Okay?
Okay,
ma'am. That's something you need to work on. Start reading books, start listening to podcasts, or start watching documentaries. But reading will always help. So please focus on grammar.
Okay,
I like the content, but there were some areas which I still didn't understand. You said there were brand ambassadors. If they talked about it, if they reviews about it, you would have used these words. Okay? Or you would have said who is their brand ambassador. Maybe you could have mentioned that and how it helped them, maybe in a line or two. Apart from that, the last two lines, it said something. It made me to purchase product. So I got attracted to this particular product by looking at the advertisement, and that's why I made the purchase. Could be a better way of framing it.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, and it's entrepreneurs, if that's what you wanted to say. I didn't understand the word. Not sure of what word, but overall, content was still all right, but you really need to focus on your grammar and your rate of speech. You're quite fast. Okay?
Oh, okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Focus on your rate of speech. Don't hurry. Don't rush.
Oh,
All right?
okay, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Prashanti, for volunteering.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Please mute yourself, Prashanti. All right. I'm going to move on to part 3 question, but before that, Alushi, okay, he came back and left. All right. I'm going to move on to part 3 questions, and whoever would like to answer, please raise your hand. Okay. All right. Anybody would like to answer, or I'm just going to pick somebody? Okay, Dr. Lino, please unmute. Hi.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi. Okay, so my question to you is again about advertisements. Do you think advertising influences what people buy and how?
Yes, it's obvious that it do have a great impact on the customers, and usually the customers it has become a trend that usually the customers go with the advertisement, and some of them looking at the brand ambassadors, and so sometimes it is the testimonials that they put on it. So most of the time, I think now it is a trend wherein people go with the advertisements, and they go with buying the products.
Okay. Just a few, okay, the answer was all right, no problem, but the way the sentences were structured, I want you to work on that, okay? So you said it do influence people. When you use it, automatically, especially third person singular, it, he, she, or it, the word becomes does, okay? It does influence a lot of people, okay? Not go with ads. Where are we going with ads? We're not going anywhere. So you can say something like, people prefer buying products by seeing their favorite actors, or by looking at the brand ambassadors or the testimonials that the product or that organization receives. Okay, not go with ads. Okay, all right. Otherwise, your answer was okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Dinu. One more and we'll close the session for the day. Stency, only you are remaining. So I'm going to ask you to unmute. And
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Dr. Dinu, please mute yourself. Stency, again. Hold on, let me ask you a part 3 question again on advertisement.
Yeah.
Do you think advertisements can be harmful to children?
Ma'am, can you repeat the question?
Do you think advertisements can be harmful to children?
To some extent, I can say that it is harmful for the children, because they are like they cannot be controlled. If they see an advertisement, they may say that they want that product, that particular product, and they may not understand what we are saying until they get that product. Because for example, toys, chocolates, etc., if they see it in the television, they may ask us to buy that product that particular time itself. They want that product that time itself, and we'll have to convince the child that it's not possible to buy now. and we should make them understand.
Okay. So, all right, fine. Your answer was okay. But towards the end again, you don't really have to say what you want to do. You could have probably just said that, usually when children watch advertisements, they become very, you could have used words like they become very stubborn, or
Yeah.
they throw tantrums and
Yeah.
expect the parents or somebody to buy that product for them. Okay. Yeah, you gave some good examples about toys and chocolates because obviously. However, towards the end, I just feel you sort of went off, but otherwise okay. All right.
Okay.
In terms of grammar and all, so it was okay. All
Okay.
right. Okay, then, guys. Since there were just 2 queries and I've answered those, I will see you guys on Monday. I will be sharing some home assignments on the group. Those home assignments also have answers, so it will be more of self-check. You can do those home assignments, practice, and check your answers. All right, I will see you guys on Monday. We will be continuing with the reading module. All right, thank you very much for being a part of the doubt clearing session as well. See you and have a great weekend. Bye, guys. Thank you.